Good morning, everybody. You should all know me. I'm Professor Wenzel, or Vicki. You can call me Vicki. We are going to do Pharmacology 2 this next semester. There is good news and bad news. The good news is that it's only 8 weeks. The other good news is that we will meet twice a week. Bad news is kind of early in the morning. It's at 8 o'clock. The other bad news is this is not going to be any easier than what you've already done, okay? It's still going to be a little hard and a little tough, and we're going to go from there. But I think you can do it. You did it last year. You can do it this year. So we're going to just get started. What I'm going to do is go over the syllabus with you, and I hope you'll all take time to watch this video so we don't have to do so much in class. We will go over a little bit in class once we get there on that first day. August 20th is coming up really quick. It's like it's less than a month away. Today's July 23rd. So let's get started on the syllabus. I hope you've got it in front of you. If you don't, please go and print it off or open it up on your computer or whatever you want to do. But I want you to follow along in case there's any notes I want you to have, okay? My telephone number is in here. The one that you see first is my office phone. Please do that one first before you use my cell phone. If you have a question, especially Monday through Friday, I'll be here every day during the week, during the semester. So please use my office phone on Monday through Friday. My cell phone is for emergencies. Like if I'm not here anymore, you can text me. You can call me. You can do whatever you need to do if you have a question. You can also email me. That's probably the easiest way to get through this is to email me. To get through to me is to email me because I check my emails even when I'm at home. And I try to answer them as soon as I find them. But if you need an answer right now and you've emailed and it's been time and you just need that answer, please call or text, okay? So that's in there. Also my Wesleyan email address. It looks like we were going to be in Burt Hall in lower level 2. Those rooms are a little cozy, but I think we'll be okay down there. They went down and counted them, and it holds, I think, 30 people. So we should be okay for this class. We'll kind of see. Okay? Office hours are listed. Monday and Wednesday only in the afternoon, but I can do office hours at any time as long as I'm not in class. And then Tuesday, I will be in the lab most of the day, so with fundamental students. So that's probably not a good day, but I will have a few hours off and on, so we can still make appointments. And then Thursday all day and Friday all day. Okay? So this class is during the first 8 weeks of the session. Starts on August 20th, ends on October 12th. So short and sweet, and a lot of work, but we'll get there. And you guys can do it. I know you can. Classes will be Monday and Wednesdays from 8:40 to 9:40, or from 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock to 9:40. We do not have a lab with this pharmacology. It's just classroom. So there is no lab. So Monday and Wednesday from 8 to 9:40. Credit hours, you get 2 credit hours for this, which it goes up to 30 contact hours. If you look at your syllabus, it's going to tell you the prerequisites for this class. If you have not had those prerequisites, please let me know because you have to have them before you take the class. So this course description, it's a continuation of evidence-based pharmacotherapeutic aspects of nursing care developed upon the foundation established in Pharm 1. So we're going to keep right on going just the same way we did. Some of the stuff will be a repeat, but not a lot of it. There's a lot of meds we didn't get to that we're going to get to this time. Emphasis on principles of safe administration and medications and common use for major medication classifications. Remember that, just like last year, study your classifications. Ethical and cultural considerations across the lifespan are considered for each medication classification, and this course is offered during an 8-week period. Okay, I am going to let you read the program learning outcomes, okay, because those are the same as they are for every other class. Your course objectives for this class: interpret medication dosages for a wide variety of medication related to patient ages and weights, apply physiological, biological, and chemical knowledge of medication to the nursing process, explain situations that require interprofessional team intervention to assure quality and safe patient care, Utilize evidence-based practices related to administration of pharmacological agents, including blood, intravenous fluids, and perinatal nutrition therapy. Compare approaches and biological differences in the administration of medication to a diverse society. Use appropriate technology to access and manage information related to pharmacology agents. Now, in case I forget to tell you, we are still going to be doing medication calculations, so don't let what you learned last year go away, because you're still going to need it. You'll need it for boards too, but you're going to need it for this class. Okay? Course objectives are on the next page. I'm on page 3, and it just tells you how we're going to assess things. Okay? So you'll notice that there's lecture, the Kaplan exam will be a part of this, regular exams, case studies, and anything else I can do to kind of brighten up this class, because I know it's a little bit tough and it's a little dry, but we'll see what we can do with it. Okay? Lecture. Required materials. So your APA, the 6th edition book, you're still going to need that, so don't get rid of it. Or your reference point software, we'll need that. And your CARCH, the Focus on Nursing Pharmacology, 7th edition, we are going to use the very same book we used in Pharm 1. So please don't go out and buy another book. Just use the same book we did. Nursing Central you'll need, okay? Nebraska Wesleyan Commitment to Students with Disabilities. If you think you have a disability, and it doesn't have to be like you're missing a leg. It doesn't have to be that kind of disability. It could be anything. Maybe you're very anxious, or maybe you have test anxiety. Then please go see Sandy McBride, because she can get you into she can get you where we can give your test at a different time, last a little bit longer, but only do it if you really, truly don't think you can take a test or do the class. Whatever you need for a disability, what you think. Sandy McBride, and her office is in Old Main, room 126. Her telephone number is in here, and also is her Wesleyan address. If you talk to her, you'll get a letter of accommodation from her. I need a copy of that letter of accommodation to allow you to take your test at a different time, or whatever we have to do. Okay. The Title IX information is in here. Please, if anybody is bullying you, is forcing you to do things you don't want to, if you feel pressured in any way, please let me know, or call the Title IX office, which is in here. There's on page 5, there's a campus confidential resource in Lincoln, and there's for Lincoln, and there's off campuses too. So please talk to somebody. If you don't want to talk to me about it, that's fine. Talk to Sandy not Sandy McBride, but Lindsay Spalding and Edward Basson. Edward or Basson. He'll help us too. And there's telephone numbers and email addresses in there. Okay. Statement of Academic Integrity. This is very important, and I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to think about it while we go through it. Academic integrity is one of the basic principles of a university community. Nebraska Wesleyan University encourages and expects the highest standards of academic honesty from all students. The Code of Student Conduct states that students found to have engaged in academic dishonesty, which encompasses such things as cheating, plagiarism, unauthorized collaboration, and misrepresentation, are subject to disciplinary sanctions. And there is an Article 5 in the Code of Student Conduct for examples and definitions of academic dishonesty, along with possible sanctions. Violations of academic integrity will result in at least in the failure of the assignment and/or course, and could result in student conduct board process. Please do not cheat on anything. Please do not plagiarize anything. That means you cite and reference everything you find someplace else that isn't your own ideas. Okay? Student assignment submissions. They are to be submitted on electronic copy of written assignments. Electronic copies or presentations may be requested by faculty members. Electronic versions of papers and presentations will be stored for 3 years and then destroyed. Students' work may be reviewed by nursing program accreditation visitors. And that just means we're accredited by the ANCE. So if they come in and they want to look at something you've done, we may show them that work. That's all that means. And they may look it over, but they won't take it, they won't publish it, they won't do anything else with it but look at it. Electronic portfolio submissions. Every nursing student at Nebraska Wesleyan is required to prepare and maintain an online professional portfolio. The portfolio represents key nursing experiences and achievements during the course of study leading to your BSN degree. Okay? This portfolio documents an academic, professional, and service accomplishment and may include major course papers, projects, case studies, presentations, applied research poster, practicum, experience, and other samples of work you have completed. The portfolio is intended to be a useful career tool as well as a means for nursing faculty to access educational outcomes. Building a portfolio is a process that allows one to collect, select, reflect, build on, and showcase work. Students should start their portfolios when they enter the nursing program. However, students can add documents at any time. Select courses will have a little asterisk by it and will be submitted to the Digication e-portfolio. Students should submit the original ungraded version of their assignment to the portfolio. An asterisk is placed by the required element to be submitted on the portfolio. Just have a little drink because I talk a lot. Electronic communications. You have to have access to a computer. And if you're on campus, you do have access to a computer. There are computers all over the place, okay? You're expected to have access to a computer and check your Nebraska Wesleyan University email on a regular basis. And the syllabus says at least once a week. I really, truly expect you to check it every day. This is how I get in touch with you if we're not in class. This is how I send out important notices. So please, at least weekly, and even if you can get it to every other day would be great. The university can't use your home email address. It doesn't go into their system, so you have to use the Nebraska Wesleyan account. Okay. Also, when I send out group emails, it all goes to the Nebraska Wesleyan account. So those are the only email accounts I'll have any access to or that I will use. You are accountable for reading these emails. Please remember the Nebraska email is easily accessible from a home computer through the NWU web page. Okay, so you can get to your emails at home. I have mine on my telephone. That's why if you email me, most times I catch it pretty quick after you've emailed it to me. Students who do not own a home computer can access computers at Nebraska Wesleyan. Assignments made using Canvas will be completed at a computer at Nebraska Wesleyan. Please contact a staff member if you have questions about this. So, if your computer at home breaks, don't write me and say I'm not going to get the assignment done because my computer broke. You come to campus and you do it here at campus. Do it in the library, do it in a classroom, do it someplace with a computer, a printer, whatever you need. But having your computer break or be in the shop is not a good reason for not having your assignments done. There are plenty of computers here on campuses. You will be required to access Canvas. And I don't know how many of you took a summer class. I've used Canvas this summer. I find it quite, I like it actually. It's better than Blackboard. I think you'll like it too. I send out a lot of announcements, and so I expect you to look at those when we get them. Announcements, general information, course documents, assignments will be posted in Canvas, and students are responsible for the information. So anything I post, you are responsible for. You are not able to video or audio record class sessions unless you ask me, and then we can talk about it, but I probably won't let you record the class. Permitted recordings are to be used only for the individual student's educational review of the class session and may not be reproduced, posted, sold, or distributed to others. Electronic devices should not be utilized. So once again in class, you are not going to take notes on your computer. You're going to do it the old-fashioned way, pen and pencil, paper and pencil, paper and pen, whatever you want to do. Cell phones should be turned off during class, and so should any other devices that you have should be turned off during class. Using the online nursing databases, they have a huge variety of online databases with full text options to assist students in their ability to find up-to-date publications. Please be aware that there are databases that need to be checked before you request an interlibrary loan. I don't think you'll need an interlibrary loan for this class, but you might. Okay, so check out the databases first before you do that. And there is a web link for your for a current list of the databases that the library has. And I know they update that. I don't know how often, every year probably, maybe every 6 months. But there are points awarded for participation and attendance in the class. The student is expected to be punctual and attend class. A percentage of the student's grades on class is on class participation, so I do expect you to participate in class. Repeated tardiness and absenteeism will be reflected in the course grade. If you do not attend, are late in arrival, or leave early, you will lose the opportunity to earn these points. Okay? There are no excused absences for this reason, because these are so important. So there are no excused absences, and I know we'll be done with this class hopefully before the bad weather sets in, but there are no excused absences. So attendance and participation are considered key elements of student success in the nursing program. Missing even one day in an 8-week session is equivalent to missing 2 days a semester. Students are expected to be prepared for class and participate in class discussion. And then there is a refer to student assessment and self-evaluation rubric posted on Canvas for guidelines. Okay, attendance in nursing courses is mandatory. You need to be there. Okay, tardiness and class absences will decrease the overall course grade and are considered very unprofessional behavior. You can't be tardy when you go to work. You know that. This is the same thing. This is your work, nursing school. Written assignments. All written assignments are retyped, double-spaced, and proofread prior to admission. Please proofread them. If there's a little blue line under a word on your paper, there's probably something wrong with it, and Word has picked that up, so go back and check it. Look for things like the 2, 2s, and 2s. People get those mixed up, there and there. All of those things get mixed up, and they get counted against you if your paper has those in there in the wrong way. Okay? Written assignments must follow APA guidelines. I will not take any paper copies of your assignments. You will all be turned into Canvas. If you have a Mac and you're using Mac for your computer system, you may not save your work in the Pages format. Please do not do that. It does not open up on my computer. I cannot use it, and I will have to give you no points for that grade if I can't open it. Okay? So do not submit it in the Pages format. Don't save it that way. Don't submit it that way. I will not be able to grade them. You must submit as a Word document. There is a Word program provided for you as part of Office 365. Okay, late work assignments turned in after the due date will receive a deduction of 5% per day. That's a lot, 5% per day. So don't be late. The next page is your SAS, which you've all done before. And I do want you to know that I do look this over and I do change things, like if you've missed class, if you participated in class, those kind of things. So be very, very, do this appropriately for what you've done, okay? And I do keep track of when you miss class, okay? Here is your course grading scale for our nursing program. You have to have a grade of C to progress in the program. So you have to have at least a C in the program to progress. Exams. During administration of exam, which will be in the library, I'm hoping, all personal belongings must be placed against the wall in the classroom. No hats or caps may be worn during the exam. Faculty will not answer questions during the exam. And I know I did that last year in Pharm 1, but now we're in Pharm 2. I will not answer any questions during the exam. So please, just do the exam, read the question, figure it out the best you can. You're not going to have anybody in an NCLEX exam answering your questions. So that's the best way to get you prepared for NCLEX, is just do as much as we can like an NCLEX exam. Okay? No cell phones, calculators, or any device with access to the internet will be allowed during exam. That includes Apple Watches, Samsung watches, anything you can access the internet on, and you will be able to have a calculator, because on each of your tests there are going to be calculation tests, questions, okay? So you will be able to have a calculator, but that is the only thing you will have out. You can also take notes if you want to go back and look at a question. All the notes stay in the classroom with me. You do not get to take notes home with you, okay? The students will complete exams via Canvas over the assigned content. Exams will consist of multiple choice, multiple answer, probably not essay, but it's in here, matching, alternate type questions, or true-false questions. Exams are times according to the number of questions. And your exams are going to be 60 minutes, and you'll have 50 questions. Okay? We will not do open book exams this semester. That was a trial last year, and I really couldn't see a huge big difference in your grades from if we did or didn't, so we will not do open book exams this year. Exam policy. This is the policy you all don't want to hear, but you're going to hear it. The pre-licensure BSN students are required to achieve an exam average of 73%. If this average is not achieved, the pre-licensure BSN student will automatically fail the course. That is on you have 3 exams. It is those 3 exams you have to have at least a 73%. You cannot have a 72.6, 72.8. It has to be at least a 73. No rounding of the exam average is allowed. And I know you hate that, and I don't really like it either, but when we did a little checking, we found out that we have the lowest exam average of all the nursing colleges around. Like Bryan is 75%. Clarkson in Omaha, or Methodist, I can't remember which one, was 80%. So for this year, it's still 73%. I do think it's going to go up over the next year or two. I think it'll go up to 75, but I'm not really sure about that. So right now, it's 73%. Makeup tests, exams, or quizzes. If a student takes a test outside the scheduled time, this will be considered a makeup test, even if you do it ahead of time. The test must be made up within 1 week of the original scheduled time. Failure to do so will result in a 0 for that test. A student may miss 1 test without penalty as long as the test is made up. If the student misses more than 1 test, the test may be made up, but the maximum score allowed is 80%. Any further makeup testing are a maximum of 50%. So let's not miss tests. You will also do a Kaplan exam in this course. The Kaplan focused review and exam is worth 100 points, or 10% of your grade. The review is worth 75 points, and the exam is worth 25 points. To receive all the points for the review, the student will complete an untimed focus review in 1 attempt with a minimum of 2 hours of review and achieve at least a 95% grade to earn all 75 points. Remember, you can only do it once. So if I get into Kaplan and I have access to everything you've done and see that you started the test and you maybe answered 7 or 8 questions and then you got out of there and you went back and did another one, then that's not 1 time. That's 2 times being in there. So you cannot do that. You can only go in 1 time. Okay? You have 2 hours to review. Okay? Students who score less than a national mean on a Kaplan exam for a specified topic will earn 0 points for the Kaplan exam score. Faculty teaching the course will provide students with a specified national mean set by Kaplan. See grading scale below. And I don't know that mean yet, but by the time we get to your Kaplan, I will. Okay? So if you look at this little box, it's going to tell you that for your 75 points, if you completed before sitting for the exam, focused review attempt, and you get a 95%, 2 hours of minimum preparation is 25 points. So that's where you get your 75 points. And then your Kaplan exam, if you meet or exceed the national mean for the exam, 25 points. The exam scores less than the national mean, you get 0. The students who score below the mean will receive an option to earn 5 points back if they do 1 hour of further remediation over the content missed on the proctored exam. Okay? So we will talk more about that as we get closer to it when we're in class. And then on the next page, we have your grades and your assessments. So your Kaplan exam will be 10% of your grade. Your exams, there were 3 of them. They will be 50% of your grade. Quizzes, there are 2 of them. They will be 10%. You will do a role play, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, which will also be 10% of your exam. Your SAS rubric is 10%, so please do your SAS rubric at the end of your class. And then you'll do a research critique, which is 20% of your grade. So that totals out 100. So, for this class, a role play. Students participate in a role play on the very last day of class, and I think it's set up maybe the last week, maybe the last 2 weeks because we've got so many students. The instructor forms groups of 3 students. Each student plays a role, the patient, the nurse, or family member. The group chooses a culture upon which to focus from a sign-up sheet, which I will have the first day of class. Okay? The student playing the role of the nurse collects a medication history from the patient and or a family member and provides medication teaching. Each group member needs to take into consideration cultural views on the medication, how to approach a patient from a different culture, considering dietary considerations, health beliefs, and it's not an all-inclusive list, so there's a lot of stuff out there you can look at. Students must use 2 resources other than our textbook to support the role play. Each group member submits a minimum 3-page paper about their culture. Overview, culture view, medications, patient support, dietary considerations. And these are 3 separate papers. You do not do the papers together. I do not expect to see 3 copies of 1 paper. Okay? And the next sheet in there is going to show you the groups. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 10. So we should be able to have 3 in a group. So if you want to think about that, that's a good thing. And I will bring this the first day of class. And then the rubric for the cultural role play is on page 12. So you can look that over so you get everything in there you need. Because I'll be using this when I get to the it's actually page 12 and 13, when we get to the role play, okay? And then the research article critique. Now, the one thing you need to keep in mind when you do a research article critique is you're not going to find a research article and then tell me what's in the article. You're going to critique the article. So that means you're going to look at something that's a research article and it's related to something current evidence-based pharmacology practice. Okay, and you're going to use the following guidelines that are on here. You're going to prepare your report as a paper with appropriate headings and using APA format, and it should be no more than 5 pages in length, including the title page and the reference page. So that means 3 pages of text. Okay. Remember, again, this is not a summary of the research article, but it's a critique of the quality of the research article. So that means that you look at things like title. Does it accurately talk about the article? So if you find a research article that says dogs can fly, and then the whole research article talks about cats sleeping on the bed, then that title does not talk about what's in the research article. Okay? Abstract, is it representative of the article? So when you look for a research article, make sure it's got an abstract, because otherwise you won't be able to answer this question. And that's 5 points worth. Introduction, does it make the purpose of the article clear? So read the introduction. Does it tell you what was the purpose of writing this article? What was the purpose of doing the research? Okay? Statement of the problem, is the problem properly introduced? Did they state the problem for you so you knew what they were talking about? Purpose of the study, has a reason for conducting the research been explained? And that's another 10 points. So you're going to get all these points here. The research question is, or if there's more than one question, are the research questions clearly defined, and if not, should they be? Literature review, is the literature review relevant to the study, comprehensive, and include recent research? Does the literature review support the need for a study? Okay. Remember, this is not your literature review. This should be in your study. They did a literature review. This is what they found. Results are presented clearly in the table, or in the text table and figures. Are statistics clear to you? Do you understand them? Limitations, are there limitations presented and their implications to the study? Conclusions, are there recommendations for nursing practice, future research, and policymakers? Okay. Strict APA format, you need a title page, reference page, citations, page numbers, correct spelling, proofreading, scholarly writing, use headings. So if you take each of these and you use a heading, like you could use title as your first heading, and then talk to me about the title of the article. Does it accurately describe the article? Abstract, is it representative of the article? So use headings when you write your paper. It'll make it a little bit easier, and you'll be able to make sure you get all 10 of these things in your paper. Okay? Okay. The next page is your calendar. So let's look it over very carefully. What I've done in the red is going to be your week 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then under that is what we'll do on August 20th and August 22nd. So on the first day, August 20th, we're gonna talk about drugs affecting the immune system. Okay? And your canvas is set up for this. So what I have here, when I have like chapter review, chapter 15 is a review chapter. You can read that if you want to, or you don't have to. That's up to you. The test questions are not going to really be on chapter 15, but the chapter is going to talk to you about, chapter 15 is going to talk to you about the immune system, what it does, what happens with it, that kind of stuff. So it may behoove you to read chapter 15 and know what's in there. And then the ones you're required to read are going to be chapters 16, 17, and 18. And those are the ones we'll go over in class. August 22nd, we'll finish up what we didn't get done in the first day. There will also be a ticket to class that day. Okay, and everything is on Canvas. So then when you get down to week 2, same thing. On week 2, on August 27th, you're going to have a quiz over week 1. Anytime you have a quiz, they will be in the classroom that we're in, Burt Hall 2, lower level 2. Okay, so there will be a quiz. And then chapter 42 is your review chapter. And then chapter 43, 44, and 45 are what we're going to go over in class. Okay, and then August 29th, the ticket to class. And you'll notice that weeks 2 and 3 are all on cardiovascular drugs because the cardiovascular system is so immense. It does so many things for us. So we will have 2 weeks of that, okay? And then on September 3rd, which is a Monday, there won't be any class because it's Labor Day. Okay, and then so on September 5th, we'll have an exam over what you studied in weeks 1 and 2. And then you have your review chapter, which is the same one you did in week 2. And then cards 46, 47, 48. And that's how it goes through the whole thing. You will notice on, let's see, where did I put that? Oh, your Kaplan exam is in week 6. So we've gotten through a lot of the pharmacology. Is in week 6. And that one is going to be a 90-minute class on September 24th. So please plan accordingly. And it may not take you 90 minutes to take the test, but please block out 90 minutes if you can. Okay? And there will also be some chapters to read for that. Okay? And then on September 26th, we're not going to have class because it's Visions and Ventures. So this whole week, week 6, is going to be a study. You have to study this class by yourself because we're not going to have a lot of classes. We won't have anything on the 24th because you're taking the exam. And the 26th, we won't either. So it'll be a lot of stuff on Canvas that you'll have to look at and read. Okay? And then week 7 will be our drugs affecting the renal system. So there's that. And then we'll start our role plays on October 1st, finish them up on October 3rd. Okay, so whatever we don't get done on October 1st, we'll finish up on October 3rd. And then in week 8, on October 8th, you'll have your exam 3 over weeks 5, 6, and 7, and your NPCE every due. And that's 8 weeks worth of pharmacology, and you'll be good to go. So then on the next few pages, I've just put in here objectives for each one and what chapters there are. Okay, 19, and I think that's it. So we should be good to go with pharmacology. Please watch this video. You've probably watched it if you're at this point. And I will see you early in the morning on August 20th at 8 o'clock in Burt Hall Lower Level 2. Have a great rest of your summer off.